allemaal, welkom.
Hi everyone, hi.
We wachten nog heel even een paar kleine minuutjes om te zien of er nog wat andere mensen bij komen. En anders gaan we lekker van start. Jullie zijn automatisch gemute. En ik zie dat ook al jullie camera's uitstaan. Maar feel free om je camera aan te zetten. Of als je een vraag hebt om te unmuten. We houden van lekker interactie en dat soort dingen. Dus wees zeker welkom om dat te doen. Natuurlijk mag je ook allerlei vragen aan Bruno, als hij tijdens zijn presentatie of tijdens een training bezig is, in de chat zetten. Mag gaan over iets waar hij op dat moment over vertelt, dan zal ik het zo snel mogelijk tegen hem zeggen. Maar we doen aan het einde van zijn training ook nog even een officiële Q&A. Dus ja, feel ook free om allerlei andere vragen over O&M of over de producten van O&M in de chat alvast te zetten. Dan gaan we daar doorheen op het moment dat we klaar zijn met de training en nog even tijd hebben voor de Q&A.
Cool. Do you want
Yeah,
me to start?
yeah, why not? I mean,
Yep.
I will admit people when they come in to the waiting room. So
Yep. No
just
stress at
take it
all.
away.
Thanks, Suze. Thank you so much. Hi everyone. People who doesn't know me well, I'm Bruno, so senior educator for O&M. I am now based in Amsterdam, so you can reach me out if you have any question. I'm always happy to see your work, answer your questions. So feel free on Instagram. It's Bruno_original mineral. I do appreciate to have you tonight to log in. So thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time. Sorry, my Dutch is really not good. So if anyone needs translation or anything, Suze will be happy to help on that case. Sweet. I'm just gonna share my screen. Oh, is that okay? No. Yep.
Yeah, it's perfect. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. So what we're going to talk about tonight, I want to touch base a tiny bit, especially on the powder lightness, answer some questions that we heard sometimes, and talk about the clean tone as well. So how we can use them, how we can really benefit from those products. But to start with, I think I just want to bring it back a tiny bit, a little word from our founder, Josie Bryceman. She's founded O&M. She's a brilliant woman. If you don't follow her on Instagram, I strongly recommend that you follow her. Instagram is Original Queenie, and you can message her. Okay, she will reply to you. She loves to see people's work and everything. And for her, the feedback from the hairdresser is extremely important because you guys are on the front line of directly contact with the consumer. A little bit of the story. So Josie started O&M about a little bit more than 20 years ago. Everything started from a dream of helping people, helping hairdresser to have a cleaner and kind of a color in the industry of the world. And from that, she grew up and she just did research and research and research. And that's where she became with Cold Color, that is our third generation of color. The original thinking of O&M is really to offering an ammonia, PPD, and resorcinol-free color. The O with the stroke is really our commitment of what we can offer with the less chemical possible and replaced by softer and kind of alternative. As to be a proud Australian company, we base our philosophy of the first Aboriginal people in the world. Okay, so the first Aboriginal of Australia been using Australian plants, Australian ingredient and flower and fruit to integrate to their daily life. And this bit that's what we've been doing with our color and our powder lightness, as you can see. One of the two key ingredients that you will find, especially in our activators, is our O&M signature oil blend that is based with coconut and macadamia oil, both certified organic. So one thing is important when you use our color or the powder lightener is to shake very well the activators. Because it's based with two different types of oil have tendency to separate. So what you want is blend it back together. And we all know sometime in winter, when it's slightly colder, Coconut oil have tendency to go slightly harder. So just give it a good shake, and after that, you can use it. One thing I want to bring up is the pH, okay? I think that's quite important to understand the pH because it will be quite an important key about the powder lightness. So the pH in our core color is between 9.5 and 11.4. For all the activators, they're more an acidic kind of a type, so 3 to 3.5. And the liquids, it will be 7 to 8, and with the activators is 2.5 to 3. So it bringing more like a neutral acidic kind of level. So liquids won't break the base at all if you want to be safe. Now, powder lighteners, our new powder lighteners. I'm very excited about those. We've been having a lot of feedback about the keratin lighteners being a little bit too thick, a little bit hard to work with. So we sit down and we're like, okay, people want something a little bit creamier, easier to apply, and have like a little bit of a better performance, slightly stronger. And we came out with those 3 powder lighteners. They are 100% vegans, 3 of them, okay? So we have the light blue that is our clean blonde, 7 level of lift. It's an ammonia-free lightness. We have a little bit of a darker green. There is the super blonde, 7 level with a tiny bit of ammonia inside. And we have a new addition in the family that is the super blonde 9, that it will give you 9 level of lift, and you have a little bit of ammonia inside. Now, the clean blonde, the powders is blue. The super blonde 7, the powders is pink. And the super blonde 9, the powder is gray. Those colors have no effect whatsoever on the performance of controlling or anything. They just have color to be able to make the difference between the 3 powders. For the people who are interested, to give you a little bit of an idea, the pH of the Super Blonde 9, okay, is the pH is a 10 to 11, so more alkaline. Super Blonde 7 is 9.5 to 10.5. And the pH of the ammonia-free clean blonde is 10.8 to 11.8, okay? So as you can see, not because it's an ammonia-free that is not powerful. It gives you quite a beautiful and a strong lift. What's really important, okay, is the mixing ratio. Okay, I really want to put it in phase in that. Mixing ratio is 1 to 2 mixing ratio. We really recommend to follow the rules. Okay, you can't just free pouring, mixing, and applying. Now, the reason why is a powder lightener is more an alkaline side. Activators is more an acidic side. Okay, so when you combine both together, you're sitting just on the perfect level of alkalinity to be able to open the cuticle and light up the hair. Okay, so if you put too much activator, what's going to happen? You're sitting more on an acidic side, you're losing the performance of your powder lighteners. If you put too much powder, what's going to happen? You see them on a more alkaline side, and the risk happen is you're going to damage the hair, okay? So just make sure you follow the rules. So 1 to 2, that's what we recommend to follow. Now, people often say, okay, well, if I have an ammonia-free level 7, why will I have the level 7 blonde? So what we want to create is, because we're an ammonia-free company and color, we want to offer the option of an ammonia-free powder lightener as well. For those people who are really on that journey of cleanness and don't want any ammonia in their life, you have that options. For other people, you have the Super Blonde 7 and Super Blonde 9 that perform like any others powder lighteners on the market. The consistency is quite creamy, okay? The difference as well for people who used to use the keratin, where they used to very saturate the hair and pack it on, you don't need to do that with those ones, okay? You have to put enough, but you don't need to oversaturate the hair. So you still need to see the fiber of the hair. Personally, okay, this is Bruno the hairdresser talking. What I love is using my ammonia-free 7 for my daily highlights or my super blonde 9. Okay, because it's a little bit more thicker and creamy as a consistency. If I do a scalp bleach directly on the scalp, I prefer using the blonde 7 because it's slightly more velvety as a texture. So when you apply, you go through it a little bit easier. All of them can be used as highlight, scalp bleach, balayage, it's not an issue. If you want to use it in a balayage, or make sure you put on a clean wrap or in a foil so you keep the product wet, and you can cover. If you do a scalp bleach, make sure you put a shower cap on top of it or a little bit of a clean wrap to keep the moisture in. If you do a scalp bleach, we do not recommend higher than 6%, 20 volt. That's really important as we recommend. The key ingredients that we find in our powder lighteners, come on, there you go. We have those new ingredients that we added. So we have the arginine, the calendula flower extract, and the sunflower extract. So the arginine is the most important amino acid in the keratin. It helps to strengthen the hair and decrease the hair breakage and minimize the hair loss and deeply moistening the hair. We have the candula extract that is help to smooth and regenerative the property. It helps to soften the scalp irritation and inflammation and promote the healthy hair follicle for the growth. And one new ingredient that we add is the sunflower seed oils that help to provide the scalp and the hair with nutriment and the shyness and the hydration. So you will see if you use to other powder lighteners that other brand that is a 9 level, and sometimes when you finish to do your foil, the hair is a little bit like straw and it's quite a bit harsh. You will notice a strong difference with our one that is much easier and the quality of the hair is still quite there. Often I ask some question, I'm like, okay, I only want to use a 9 level powder lighteners. Absolutely, it's no issue. If I do example someone like Suze, who's quite very light naturally, and I want to do her highlights and I run out of my blonde 7, I will use my blonde 9, but instead of using 20 volt, 6%, I will probably use like a 10 volt, 3%. So you can use a softer activator and you will obtain the same result. Processing time, what we recommend is up to 50 minutes, okay? It doesn't mean everyone have to process to 50 minutes. Some people might process for 20, 30, 45, and some people might process for 50 or 55 minutes. We do not recommend any heat with our products, okay? Color or powder lighteners. It's better that you let it do the work by itself, and it's less aggressive as well for the hair. Obviously, if it's quite a cold in your hair salon, maybe like move your clients a tiny bit under the hair conditioning, or you can put a little bit of a towel on top of it to just keep the warmth from the scalp. Do I have any questions so far? No?
None in the chat, so I think we're okay for now.
Okay, we'll keep going. Okay, one of the other powder lighteners that we have the paint powder. So the paint powder is really designed for freehand balayage technique. Okay, so you have kaolin clay, alite, and rice flour. So you will see when you mix it, it's quite a thick consistency. Okay, so all the other powder lighteners, all the colors we recommend to mix with a whisk. This one I would recommend to mix with an old cutting comb or a plastic fork, okay? So if you try to mix with a whisk, if anyone have children or so a 4 years old try to make a cake, you have more flour everywhere than in the bowl, okay? If you try to mix the paint powder with a whisk, it's a similar thing that happen because it's quite an aerated product. So when you mix it, it's really like if you fold it. And when you think you finished mixing, just keep mixing, mixing until the consistency became quite creamy. Okay, you can use with 6, 9, or 12%, so 20, 30, or 40 vol. If you use with 6%, 20 vol will give you 2 level of lift. If you use with 9%, 30 vol will give you 3 level of lift. If you use with 12%, 40 vol will give you 4 level of lift. Okay. Mixing ratio recommended by ONM is 1 to 1.5. Bruno here, I prefer personally 1 to 2. I will not recommend to go higher than that. Otherwise, you will have a product that is going to be too runny. You will lose the performance of it, and it's not going to dry properly. So that's where you might ending with bleeding on like spot. Okay, because it's a freehand balayage, you don't need any foils, you don't need any clean wrap. You can literally let it dry by itself. What is important is when you take your section, you need to saturate well your section. Okay, so what's going to happen is going to create a little bit of a crust underneath. Is going to stay creamy. That's where the magic happens. If you don't put enough, it's going to sit on top of the hair and it's going to stop processing. Now, okay, so everyone, this is an extra tips I'm going to give you because that can save your life. Let's just say you're doing your highlights, your beautiful client, she's blonde, you still have a little bit of a natural hair, and now you're doing a toner, and for some reason, it overtone, you haven't think properly, and something happened. Now, the normal process that we will have, it will be like, okay, I need to do a cleanser. So you will take your powder lighteners with 1.5%, 5-volt shampoo, and you're going to start rubbing it. What's going to happen to the natural? You're going to lift it. Okay. Now you're going to lift it. It's going to go warm. Your client's not going to be happy. You're not going to be happy. She's going to cry. You're going to cry. Everyone's going to cry. No one's going to pay. It's going to be a horrible day. Here's a tip. Your paint powder, okay, use your paint powder with detox shampoo and water. So what do? You just create a little paste, okay? You rub gently on wet hair, on damp hair, and you will see the unwanted reflex coming out without affecting the natural, okay? And after that, you can just shampoo, condition, and retreat the hair. That can save your life. Trust me on that one. So easy, use the paint powder, few scoop, a tiny bit of detox shampoo, a tiny bit of water, create a little paste to it, okay, like a runny paste, work it gently on the hair, and it will remove the unwanted reflex that you don't want. Cool.
Brune,
Yeah.
Lisbeth has a question about paint powder.
Yep.
She was wondering if it's okay to use it with foils or that it's better not to and just use it on its own.
Absolutely. If you want to use it with foils, you're probably going to get probably an extra level of lift actually. Okay. So I have people doing it in a foils because they prefer that or the clean wrap. So it's totally fine. It's totally up to you. It's designed to dry by himself. So if you let it dry by himself, you will see when it's finished lifting, it just turns across. But if you want to do it in the foils, you absolutely can.
Was dat duidelijk voor jou, Lisbeth? Top, helemaal goed. All right, thanks, Bruno.
Cool. No worries. Okay. I'll give you an extra tips. Don't tell anyone. Okay. If you find your Super Blonde 7 a little bit too runny, okay, a little bit too creamy. So if you mix 20 grams of your Super Blonde 7 for 40 grams of 6%, 20 volt, add 5 grams of your paint powder in your mixing, okay? It's going to thicken up your formulation and it's going to give you a more thickened consistency. Here's a little tips here. Don't tell anyone. Okay, cream whip. I am a massive fan of the cream whip. It's one of my favorite liners that I use quite a lot. What is beautiful with this one is an ammonia-free, it's vegan. It gives you 6 levels of lift. It's got a violet pigment inside. That pigment will help you to control the warmth in your hair, okay? You can use on a scalp bleach, you can use as a highlight, you can use as a tip out, you can use as much as you want. Mixing ratio is 1:2, okay? I do sometimes 1 to 1.5. I like a little bit thicker consistency. Remember the pH, okay? So if you do 1 to 1.5, you have something slightly stronger. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Is the reason why I never do 1 to 1, always 1 to 1.5 or 1 to 2. 1 to 2, that's what O&M recommend. As a hairdresser, I love breaking the rules a tiny bit, but I know the rules. It's just thicker and it goes quite a long way as well. I love using the cream whip. If I have curly hair and I want to do a full balayage, I do like a technique that is very quick. Take me 10-15 minutes to do a full head of balayage with the cream whip. I just put the cream whip in my hands and I just painted my sections on it. Key ingredient on this one, you will have corn protein that will help to strengthen the hair. You have kaolin clay to help to balance the pH. You have candela wax that is a rich nutriment, easy to absorb into the scalp and the hair, creating an instant barrier to prevent moisture loss. So you will see it gives you quite a good hydration, and you have the argan oils that give you a lot of moisture and a shine and protect from the breakage and increase elasticity of the hair as well. All our powder lighteners are designed to work separately, okay? Compare in the past, the people who were used to it to all keratin lightener, the pink and the blue. Sometimes people were mixing those together. You don't need to do that anymore with our new ones, okay? You have the performance of it. So I will strongly not recommend to mix any. They're really designed to work separately. Cream whip. See, I have one of my clients I used to do in Australia. Beautiful woman. She was about level 6-7, more like a 7-6, very massy brown. But every time I lift her hair, it will always go slightly warmer. Okay, she have those ginger background in her family, and she's the type of clients who got traumatized by her hairdresser. So I could not do any toner on her hair. So I really needed to have that perfect creamy. And that's what I was using on her. I was using Cream Whip with 9%, and it gave me that beautiful crispy white kind of a result without have to do any toner to it. So Cream Whip you can use a lot. You can have a lot of fun with. Very good sometimes to do have like a tip out. You know, when your clients have a little bit like the old blonde that is a bit brassy or a little bit still warm, you can use a cream whip has a little bit of a tip out with a 10 or a 20 volt, and with that violet pigment inside, it help to control. Any questions, Suze, or I keep going?
Yeah, no questions in the chat. So I think you can keep going.
Cool, amazing. Okay, what clean tones. Clean tones are a direct dyed pigments, but they're not just a conditioner, they're even more than that. Okay, they really are treatments. They really help to repair the hair. So it's all ammonia, PPD, and resorcinol free. Paraben, sulfate, MIT, tryptophan, sodium chloride, phthalates free of. It's gluten free, cruelty free. It's vegan, but as well it's silicone free. Okay, so that's quite a really important one. This is a hairdresser talking. In 18 years to being a hairdresser, I never worked with a product that have such a beautiful repairing effect in the hair. So 7 shades, you can use them, you can mix them. I will show you a little video of how the power example of the copper, how it can be powerful. So as you can see, that's been done only with the copper, okay? No toner, nothing, and you see really the vibrancy after. Don't forget, okay, it's a direct dye. So during that video, it was very funny because I was there in Australia when we filmed it, and the hairdresser was like chatting, and I'm like, okay, babe, you need to rinse. Okay, it's a direct dye. So when you start applying, it's already working. Is the reason why what we recommend is between 3 to 10 minutes max. The longer you leave it, the longer it's going to deposit. Okay, and more intense it will be. So 3 to 10 minutes. If your hair is really porous, really like hard to detangle, what you can do a little fine intellect conditioner before, rinse your conditioner, towel dry, and you can apply your clean tone. So you massage it, you work it, you use your paddle brush or your tangle teaser to really detangle the hair, and it helps to absorb everywhere. So we have 7 shades, okay? 7 shades. We have the platinum, the cool blonde, the beige, the copper, the caramel, the chocolate, and the red. Here's a little template on which level is the best to use for, okay? Now, those 3 that I'm gonna say, they are very important to understand. So platinum, it's a violet reflex designed to work from a level 8 to 10. Beige, it's an ash gold reflex designed to work from a level 7 to 10. Now, if your client is extremely blonde with porous hair, beige is what? It's ash and gold. It's blue and yellow. Your porous hair, the hair is very thirsty. The first pigment they're going to grab is the gold. What's you left? It's blue. Blue and yellow give you what? Green. Okay. So it's going to go quite murky. So very careful. If you put on a level 10, make sure you still have a bit of a warmth in your color. Otherwise, it's just going to go muddy. Personally, as a hairdresser, I really love use it as a level 6 to 9. I find it works like a tree. Sometimes I do my balayage, okay, and I reach the level that I want. I don't even tone. I just do a clean tone, and after that, I recommend that to my clients to take home so she can maintain her color. After that, we have the cool blonde. The cool blonde is more like an ash violet kind of reflex. The reason why it's more designed to work on level 7 to 9. Now, those are they're very pigmented. So if you look at the platinum, same thing. If you have a client with baby hair or very porous hair and you go straight apply that, don't be surprised if you go violet. The hair's just going to grab it. Okay. So you can dilute them with some conditioner or the mask. Make sure when you rub it, you can mix it up in a bowl, or if you apply the platinum, warm it up a tiny bit first in your hands. And after that, start applying. Always start with mids to the ends, and after that you can work your way through. And if you see it start changing, just rinse it. Okay. Same thing when you recommend to your clients, you can tell them dilute with some conditioner, and they can do that to maintain their color at home. Everything that is chocolate red, copper, and even caramel, I will strongly recommend to your client to wear a glove. It's staying a tiny bit the hands. It go quite easy to remove, but it's more you're going to ruin your manicure. So I think you don't really want to. Another thing is you can intermix them together. Okay, so we create 9 more shades, but intermix them so you can be a little bit more creative in your salons and see if you want something like temporarily. Here's what you can do. Do we have more coming? Maybe. Cannot confirm or deny. Okay, so we have maybe something different that is coming very soon. That's a bit what it's complete. Powder lighteners and clean tone.
Thank you, Brune.
No worries. Stop sharing. There you go. Sweet.
All right. Well, let's give everybody who wants to the chance to ask you some questions.
Yeah, go for it. And it doesn't need to be just on what we went through. It can be questions on anything. I'm here. Use me. Like I always say, use me, abuse me, beat me. It's time to ask me all the questions that you want.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, feel free to unmute, but even what I said in the chat, if you feel more comfortable asking Bruno the question in the chat, I can read it to him or translate. So yeah, whatever. Any questions?
Oh, no questions. Oh my God. Did I answer all the questions?
Oh, maybe it was just super clear.
I try to be as simple as possible.
Yeah.
I hope that the time I've got everyone, I just want to make sure that everyone is on a Facebook group.
Oh yeah, it should be because you're blurred.
Yeah, hang on. I'm gonna deblur
It's
myself for a
the
second.
core color group.
Yeah. So NM Core Color Group, okay? It's a very beautiful, resourceful thing because we have seminars sometime on that. People post works, formulations, okay? If you're looking for color, you can go on the search bar. Oops, 1 second. You can go in the little loop here and search bar. And you can put any numbers or color that you're looking for. So example, I want to see what 9.7 look like. I put 9.7 and everyone's been using 9.7 in different situation formulation is going to come out. You can ask question as well. This is a 24/7 hotline. So it's very nice to see it's people around the world. Okay, so you're gonna have people in Canada and France and Spain and Netherlands and Australia and New Zealand, and you pose a question about formulation and you see the community coming together to really give you those alternative and like what formulation they can do. So that's a very, very good tool. So O&M Core Color, see anyone looking for it.
Yeah, I think that's always really good. I see Farah has a question about gray coverage.
Yep.
Farah, you want to unmute and ask Bruno the question yourself, or are you going to put the full question in chat?
Hoi, ja, mag ik het wel in het Nederlands doen?
Tuurlijk.
Ja? Nou, goedenavond allemaal. Ik heb dus even een vraagje over kleuren met 6.0 en 7.0. Dus eigenlijk een beetje donkerblonde haar
Ja.
met grijsdekking. Ik heb tot nu toe eigenlijk 2 keer een klant gehad die donkerblond of een beetje lichtblond is. Ja, lichtblond eigenlijk. En de grijsdekking, het is meer transparant. Dus het dekt niet al het grijze haartjes. Dekt hij niet.
Oké, en je hebt wel met core color gewerkt?
Ja, met O&M verf.
Ja, gewoon met de tubes, zeg maar.
Ja.
Oké.
Ja.
Okay, so Bruno, I have no clue if you understand any of it, but Farah has a question about gray coverage. She had a couple of clients that have, let's say, dark blonde to a bit lighter dark blonde hair. So probably level 6, level 7, maybe. And she has been coloring them with car color, but the gray coverage was very transparent. So I don't know if you have any tips on this.
Yeah, absolutely. So for a maximum of like maximizing your gray coverage, what we recommend is actually make sure the clients, if it's possible, to have their hair washed the day before. Okay, so that's one tip, especially if the hair is saturated in like natural oil and you try to put a color on top of it, that won't work. Another thing as well, if the current wear like mascara, crayon, or powder, make sure that it's being removed, because some brand it's like a wax and it's going to create like a barrier on top of the hair and the color won't be able to go through it. Now, for me, what is important is the percentage of gray that you see in your clients will be the amount of natural you put in your formulation. So if you see about 25% gray, I will put 1/4 of your base or 3/4 of your target shade. 50% gray, half. 75% gray, 3/4 of your base, 1/4 of your target shade. If your client's got between 75 to 100%, I will do, you got two options. You can do 3/4 of your base and 1/4 of your target shade, because all the shades give you 25% of gray coverage, or you can do 100% of your base. Now, the naturals are a blue violet base, okay? So they're more cool, and you have the WN, they have an extra gold to it. The WN is very, very good for those clients who are extremely resistant to cover. If you worry that it's going to be too warm, you can do, example, if your client is a level 7, you can do half 7.0, half 7 WN, and it will give you a beautiful level 7, and it's going to fill that gray hair. Application is really important as well, okay? So you need to put enough color, but you don't need to oversaturate the hair. We work differently than other brands. So, you know, we all learn you need to pack it on, you need to saturate. Yes, if you have an ammonia color, because what ammonia does, it's opening the cuticle of the hair, but it's like pushing out the color. So you need to like really make sure it's well saturated. With an MEA agent, what it does is opening the hair and absorbing the color. There's a reason why we're based with oil. So put it this way, if I put oil on my bench and I take one paper towel and I wipe it out, the oil is gone. But if I take a full bottles and I pour the full bottles and I take the same paper towel and I try to wipe it out, what's happening? I'm just smudging the oils everywhere. So it's going to be the same thing, okay, for your hair. If you put too much, okay, it's not going to have time to absorb properly. So when you rinse, it's slime and it's translucent. So normally if it's translucent all over, it might be because the formulation is not quite right, so not enough base or too much product. If it's patchy, that's simply just application. And I see that often with the juniors. Sorry if they have juniors online, but often that's what I will see. They do a beautiful application in the front because they take their time, And when they go at the back, they take thicker section and they just slap it on. If you take a thick section, okay, the color doesn't swell. So it's going to cover here, it's going to cover there, here is going to be translucent. So thinner section, apply it, take my second section. If I still see color, I push, and I really push the color in, okay? 45 minutes, that's what we recommend to have a solid gray coverage. 35 minutes, going to give you something a little bit more translucent, a little bit more fashion as a way. If your client needs to, you can give her an extra 5 minutes. Okay, it's not the end of the world. It's not going to go darker. I have that client in Australia. She had that thick, coarse hair, like a level 9 coverage. And that's what I was doing. I was giving her 50 minutes and I was putting a piece of foil on top in here to give like the warmth, to create kind of like a solar panel. And I have that beautiful gray coverage to it. Yeah, just let me know how you go. You can use 10 volt as well, 3%, okay? Often I use that on a level 7, especially if the client is like a level 7, she want to be cool, she don't want to be warm, and she's got about 50%, 75% gray. I will do 3/4 of my base and 1/4 of my cool tone, and I will do with 10 volt because you sit at the same level and you're going to have a nice deposit. I will really recommend to leave it for 45 minutes. So let me know how you go and feel free to reach out. If you have any question, you can message me on Instagram. I always ask, if you message me on Instagram, please, 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 please give me as much information as possible. And if you can have pictures, it's even easier, okay? Because I can reply quicker and I can come back with a solution a little bit quicker.
Perfect. Farah, ik wilde nog even zeggen dat mocht je dit probleem blijven houden, zelfs na de tips van Bruno, en als je een aantal keer misschien contact met hem opgenomen hebt, we kunnen altijd even kijken of Femke, onze lokale O&M-trainer, bij jullie in de salon even kan langskomen. Kan je altijd even bespreken met jullie vertegenwoordiger. Of je kan ons altijd even een berichtje sturen op educatie@nieuw-vlek.nl. Dan kunnen we altijd even kijken wat we voor jullie nog kunnen doen aanvullend.
Ja, top. Want ik heb Femke haar nummer ook. Ik heb haar ook geappt.
Oh, super.
Over 2 weken komt ze ook. En dan doen we dat even op modellen. Maar ik dacht, ik vraag het hier toch even. Verschillende adviezen kan altijd goed zijn natuurlijk.
Ja, absoluut.
Maar
absoluut.
veel van wat hij heeft gezegd heb ik wel gedaan. Behalve de WN. Omdat iemand dan gewoon wat assig wil. Dus dan doe ik er geen WN op. Maar ik zal hem anders ook nog even via Instagram contacteren. En dan kan dit ook nog even door voor de andere personen die hierin zitten.
Ja, helemaal goed. Nee hoor, dat is prima. En ik bedoel, net wat hij zegt, vraag liever te veel dan te weinig. En loop gewoon de verschillende situaties die jullie hebben gehad nog even door met Femke als het toch bij jullie is. En dan komen jullie er vast wel uit, denk ik. Soms zijn het van die kleine dingen dat als je ze allemaal langs je ineens beseft, oh ja, shit, misschien is dat hetgene wat ik inderdaad bij elke klant vergeten ben. Of toch net niet helemaal goed. Of een andere mix dan wat misschien had gekund. Maar loop het gewoon inderdaad nog even door en dan komen jullie er vast wel uit.
Ja, nou super, dankjewel. Thank you, Bruno.
You're welcome, my pleasure. And I can add you an extra tip actually. If your client is just like sometime around the hairline or where the part is that is not covered properly, what you can do is a pre-pigmentation. Okay, so if example you do like a level 6 normal tint, you can take the 7, just the cream, okay, no activator, and you can apply where there is a little bit more resistant and apply your tint on top of it.
Good one, thank you.
My pleasure.
We had another question from Lisbeth about the Super Blonde 9. Would you recommend or highly not recommend to use it on more porous hair? And what would be your recommendation?
Super Blonde 9, you say?
Yeah.
You can use it. It's no issue. Even if it's a 9, I know it's quite a little bit more aggressive, but you got quite a very the key ingredient is going to help to repair. Well, the only thing I will do, especially if you have nothing else that's around, the only thing I will do is using a lowest activator. So if it's like on the tip out that you want to clean, I will probably use like my 1% or my 1.5% to just be a little bit more gentle to it. And if I need to, I can go back at the basin and work it out. It's just depending what you want to do in which situation. But yeah, you can use it, just use a softer, gentle activator. If this is the ends that you want to clean out, okay, do your work. And after that, when you go to the basin, do a basin balayage, a wet balayage. Use a paint powder. That's going to be quite good to clean. I often do that. I use on the blonde. I will use the paint powder with 20 or 30 volts, and I leave it for a maximum of 10 minutes. Because it's slightly gentle, it just gives you that extra lift and help to cleanse out at the same time.
Perfect. Well, no questions anymore in the chat. I don't know if there's anything else anybody would like to know. Then please take your shots and take your chance. And otherwise, what Bruno already said, feel free to contact him if you have any more questions. Oh, I will put...
there we go. I just put it my
just put it in
Instagram.
the
Yeah,
chat.
perfect. I felt it. I'm like,
Exactly.
yep,
Yeah,
someone's
just
gonna ask.
follow him, ask him the questions, if there are any, and otherwise, if it's easier for you to do it in Dutch, just send an email to educatie@nieuw-vlek.nl. I will put it in the chat as well. And I can always give you Femke's number if it's easier for you to just do it in Dutch. That's fine.
Yeah, if it's easier for you in Dutch, just put it in Dutch and I will use Google Translate.
Yeah,
It's like
that's
it's not
all. Very
like
easy.
I got German questions, I got Spanish questions, so
Yeah.
I'm practicing languages.
Oh my God. Yay, AI. It will always help.
Yes, exactly. So literally feel free to reach out. So I'm in Europe now, so time is different. It's way easier. I'm quite a busy person, but when I see color question, I try to answer as quick as I can. Otherwise, what I can say, that's it on my side, really.
Well, thank you so much, Bruno, for
No
this.
worries. Thank you. Thanks for
We'll
everyone.
put it online and send it through to all the other clients. So anybody who couldn't be here, unfortunately, will be able to rewatch the session. So that's going to be good.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Right.
Thanks.
Dank jullie
Doei.
wel voor het aansluiten vanavond en tot de volgende keer.